everyone. My name is Michelle. I'm a physician assistant student. I'm on my second year and I go to USC University. Thank you so much for having me here today to talk to you guys. I am very passionate about the healthcare field and I have been pursuing medicine ever since I want to say, like during my last year of undergrad. It was a little bit difficult for me because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do in the healthcare field, but through shadowing and volunteering, I was able to learn about the PA field. And for those who don't know what physician assistant is, it is a healthcare provider. The career was created to supplement physicians and doctors in the healthcare field, and really to target just lack of healthcare in low income communities and where there is a lot of need for resources. So a little bit about my background. I went to UC Irvine and I graduated in public health policy. And then after that, I took about a few gap years to really take my prerequisites and strengthen my GPA, and also volunteer at hospitals. And I started working in a dermatology and internal medicine office where I was a medical assistant and scribe. Also, I did that for 2 years, and then I volunteered at my local hospital. And something else that I did was I also started a nonprofit organization in 2015. So I started a nonprofit organization, and this was meant to kind of help those in the low-income community in Orange County and Los Angeles. I'm actually living in California. So in Orange County, Los Angeles, what I do is I host annual food drives every year, and we collect about thousands of pounds of food and hygiene products, and we help to give back to the community. So we target a lot of homeless people, and so I was doing that for about 5 years, and I'm still doing it to this day. But so for all of you guys that want to get into healthcare field, and my advice to you is just to, keep working. I know you guys are, I think, maybe around high school, I believe, is what I was told, or going into college. But just work hard, and if it's in your heart that you want to help others and make a difference in the world, I feel like you are in the right kind of direction. There's so many different things in the healthcare field that you could do, so make sure to do your research. Don't be shy, ask questions. And I know sometimes it might seem really hard to think med school, or it just seems like there's a lot and it's very competitive, but just know that you can do it, because obviously I struggled a lot thinking or getting into PA school. It took me about like 3-4 years. I'm a 3-time applicant to get into school, but I got in. So I just want you guys to know to work hard and to never give up, because there's always room for improvement, and every year is a new time to just kind of get your goals together and just work hard to get to where you need to be. And the end goal is to help people, which is always great. And it's very necessary for people to be in the field that are really kind-hearted and have other people, just you want to help other people. So yeah, if you guys have any other questions, please let me know.
I think there was one in the chat.
Okay. Oh, there's some chats here, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that. Okay, hi Janelle, fellow anteater. Okay, so I hear from Rebecca. What did you think of dermatology and internal medicine scribe job? Those fields are on my list for possible. Okay, I actually really, really enjoyed dermatology. I went into it not really knowing much, but I learned so much about it because there is actually the thing that's special about dermatology is that there's also a cosmetic portion to it, in addition to the medical field of it. So that's also very interesting. And if you kind of feel yourself like artsy, I feel like that's also very very there's always something new with dermatology, so I really liked it. And internal medicine is nice too. I got to meet so many different people, ranging from young kids to like like the older generation. I really liked it, and I think those are great fields for med school. If I had to pick between the two, I personally would do dermatology just because I'm very much about skin, and I saw a lot of interesting procedures that I really liked. And Janelle, why did I decide to pursue PA? Okay, over healthcare professions. All right. Yes, and then I see Emily says why PA over MD. Okay, so I personally decided to pursue PA for multiple reasons. One of the main reasons is the lateral mobility that the PA profession does offer. So as a PA, I'm not sure if most of you guys know this, but as a PA, after we are trained in PA school as a generalist. So we touch base on each specialty. And after I graduate, I'm able to work in dermatology for a few years. And let's say I want to learn or change my mind and I want to work in family medicine or ER, I'm able to do that without having to go through a residency program that like med school requires. So that was one of the main things because I actually am very interested in many different fields. So I want to be able to have that option to just work in different areas when needed. Also, I feel like the time in schooling and amount of debt with med school versus PA for me, I think that it aligned more with my goals of when I wanted to kind of be out working, how much time and money I wanted to spend on school. So as a PA for me personally, I felt like that was the best decision for me and my family. And that's personally why I chose PA over. But in addition to MD and NP, yeah, mainly it would be the lateral mobility and the time spent in school. Also, yeah. And let's see, what advice do I have for pre-PAs in particular? Okay, so PA school is definitely getting more competitive as the years go by, but I do want you guys to know that it is so possible. My advice that I usually give to students is I think volunteering is so important, especially for me. It holds such a special place in my heart because I've experienced so many great, meeting different peoples and learning so much about myself and kind of the population that I will be working with once I graduate. So schools really emphasize volunteering because they really want to know like where your heart is at. And I feel like some schools don't necessarily require it, but I think it will always strengthen your application. So I definitely do recommend volunteering. I go out there and shadow and just meet as many students and healthcare PAs in the profession, just so you can constantly learn about it. Because the thing is, you want to be sure that this is what you want to do. And during your interviews, it needs to come out that you've done your research, you know why you want to be a PA, and just you need to be very passionate about it. Also, in terms of grades, I know GPA is also a really big thing for whether you're going to med school, PA, nursing, all of that GPA. So my recommendation is if you do have the time to take a gap year, it's not a bad thing at all to take a break after you graduate college. But take a gap year, strengthen all of your core prerequisites that PA schools, med schools require, because that's very important. And for me, in order to strengthen my GPA, I took a lot of also like health, nutrition classes that weren't necessary or a prereq. I took those classes to also help strengthen my GPA. And I also took organic chemistry and I took organic chemistry and biochem, and it wasn't necessary. I just did it just to make my application look a little bit stronger. So I would recommend doing that. And then also becoming friends with your professors is very important, because you want to build these lasting relationships that when the time comes, you are able to ask for a letter of recommendation, and have them feel comfortable writing you one. So you don't want to go through school and at the end of the semester you need a letter of rec and then ask them. You could, but you might get a very generic letter. So you want to kind of build relationships with these mentors or your professors. So I recommend that you guys do that from the very start of the semester. Make sure that you work really hard and try to get that A, because most schools will look at your trend, your most recent classes, or your last 60 credits. They will look at that in order to determine if you're a strong student academically. Okay, let's see here. I think that's all the questions. Do you guys have anything else? Do you guys have any questions on kind of the PA role or how my experience in PA school is? Feel free to ask. I'm here. I'm open to any questions.
I had a quick question. So, kind of, how does your daily life look like? I know, obviously, living in California can be kind of expensive, and a lot of people struggle with financial issues.
Okay.
So, can you just talk more about that?
Yeah, of course. Sorry. Okay. So my day-to-day, so currently, because my program is a 3-year program, usually PA schools are 2 years. I go to USC, so it's 3 years. So currently I'm on a summer break. Most PA schools will not get a summer break, but it is integrated into my program. So my day-to-day is a lot of just right now, just kind of soaking in the time I have with family and friends and relaxing before school starts next week. But my day-to-day when I'm in school looks a lot different. I go to school 5 days a week, and my schedule is from 8 until 4. 8 until 4 or 5. So I started to, since it was my first year, I started to start meal prepping, on the weekends, so that I have kind of like a routine schedule when it comes to lunch because I'm so busy. But basically, I'm in class from 8 to 11. I get a 2-hour break, and then from 1 until 4 or 5, I'm in class again. And then usually after school, I will stay on campus, go to the library, study with a group of classmates, or I will go home and study. So it's definitely a lot of studying. And just, I have exams, I want to say maybe 2 to 3 times a week. It just depends on the timeline that they give us. But it's just being able to prioritize what's coming first, kind of studying for that. Something that was difficult for me to learn was knowing how to prioritize which classes are more important for me, and also how to study because for me, before school, I used to, whatever comes first, I just study for that. But because there's so much material in PA school, you need to study a little bit from each class in order to stay up to continue with the pace in order to be effective in your studying habits. So it's prioritizing, also knowing what is most difficult and challenging for you. And so for me, I like to kind of create a timeline sheet of how long I'm going to spend studying this subject, and then move on to this subject, and then take a break, and then move on to this subject. So each week it looks a little bit different. But as of right now, I'm in didactic year, which is studying and lectures and note-taking and exams and all of that. So I'm very much just at school, in class for those hours, and then studying after, making sure that I eat a healthy, balanced dinner, lunch, breakfast. That's also very important. And incorporating exercise, maybe 3 times a week, just so you're not constantly sitting all day. You kind of want to have that release too, so you're not so stressed. And something that I had to kind of learn the hard way was not to be so focused into your studies that you forget about yourself, because you don't want to burn out. And the burnout is very real. That's what they say. Because if you're constantly just studying all the time, your mind, it won't be very effective. You need to kind of go see loved ones, once in a while, and go take a walk in the park or exercise, see your friends, do fun things. That's the one thing that I recommend. When you start school, whether it's med school, PA school, nursing school, it can be very intense and rigorous, but you don't want to forget about yourself. You want to do things that you enjoy and that who makes you you, even before the program started. Like, don't lose that part of yourself. So that's my advice, and that's typically what a day-to-day looks like for me. A lot of studying and just creating study groups. That was really helpful for me because I think I do better in a study group to just kind of bounce ideas off of each other, and kind of teach each other things that we don't know. So, yeah, that would be what a typical day looks like.
I think there was one last question in our chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, right here, Janelle. So, okay, PA school. Okay, class size. So it ranges. I noticed when I was searching for PA schools over on the East Coast, I felt like over on the East, because I'm in California, over on the East Coast, there were a lot smaller class sizes. I want to say like 15, 20, 30. But for me in California, I noticed the class sizes were bigger. So for me, I have 60. I know other schools in California have about, there's one school, Western University, I think they have about 90 students. Um, yeah, so class size is about, for me, is 60. Content material, how is the content material? I'm going to say, so there's a lot of material going into school, but I felt like my program did a really good job transitioning me into what I know versus what I'm learning. And they really start everybody off at ground zero, kind of reteaching the basics of biology, um, the anatomy. So they really start from step one. Although it moves fast, they start you from step one, making sure everybody's on the same page, and then they go fast. So how my school is broken up, it's broken up into um, basic medical science, which is learning about cells, carbohydrates, protein, things like that, like very small, like the molecule, like biology, molecules. And then also I have another class, which is called Topics in Medicine, where we actually learn about the hands-on diseases that we will experience and how we treat those diseases. So those are the two main science classes that we have. And then it goes hand in hand. So when we learn about what's going on in our body, then we learn about how it is presented as a disease and how to treat this disease and how to spot it when we're out in practice. So that's pretty much how the content is. And then also, I also am in a program that teaches Spanish. So I do that once a week where we learn basic Spanish first, and then they add on Spanish terminology for us, medical terminology, to be able to treat Spanish-speaking patients in the future. And then I have one more class. It's called Clinical Skills, and Clinical Skills teaches us more of how to assess and diagnose patients. So if it comes to like moving certain joints to see how their bones, tendons, joints are performing, or how to use a stethoscope to listen to their heart, lungs, things like that. So there's three main classes where in PA school that kind of tie together to get us ready to send us out to rotations where we will start treating patients. And for me, that's going to be in January. Okay, hi. Yes, how would online classes look right now for college? So actually, are you talking about PA school or more undergrad college?
PA school, but kind of just in general as well.
Right. Okay. So in my experience, before I went on summer, we actually started online school through Zoom. So how that would look like is we still had the same class hours. It was still the 8 to 4, but it was all from home. And it was an interesting transition, but I felt like they really accommodated us. So for Zoom, it's pretty interesting because the teachers can do so much. Whatever they're lecturing, they will still lecture to you. They will share their screen with you, so you can see their PowerPoint as if you were kind of sitting in class. And they also record the lecture, so you can always come back and watch it if you miss something, if your internet cut out, things like that. And then also, you're able to do breakout rooms in Zoom. So with a class full of 60, they can choose to break us up into groups of like 5 or 10, whatever they decide, to be able to do to kind of just like bounce ideas off each other and see if we understand, or do group activities. So that's pretty much the main difference. I felt like I've adjusted to it okay, because it was still kind of new for the last month. But I think it's going to be a lot different starting next week for me. Though you'll probably have more different things that we have to kind of transition and get used to. But that's pretty much how my classes look like for me. And then also, just to give you guys like some more knowledge on how with this whole COVID thing and how it's affecting our program. So my class size I mentioned was 60, and what they're doing is they're breaking us up into groups of 15. So that's 4 groups of 15, and inside those 4 groups, they're breaking us up into groups of 5, and they're trying to minimize exposure. So when I do go to campus for clinical skills, more hands-on stuff, listening to the lungs and the heart, I'm only going to be staying in my group of 5 people. So they're trying to minimize exposure, and so I won't be seeing my classmates of 60. I'll see them online during lecture, but when I actually have to come in and do hands-on work, I will be doing in my groups of 5. And I believe for undergrad, for people I've spoken to that are currently in undergrad, I see that it will also be online, and a lot of virtual meetings. And, right now it's just all about adapting and just kind of being open to the changes that are coming our way, just rolling with the punches. That's definitely something in the healthcare field. So many things are going to be coming your way unexpectedly, and you just kind of have to really embrace it and just be open to accepting the changes, and try to become stronger. It's a hard time for everybody out there. So I think the key is just to be very open-minded and, just open-minded, and not be too hard on people that are really trying out to be up, like to make it easier for us. Okay, and then I see here, sorry, were you going to say something?
Oh no, I was just wondering if there are any more questions.
I see one here. Do I have contact info? Yes. You guys can always reach me on my Instagram. I try to post, more healthcare related stuff there. I can put it in the chat here. It's Miss Schmel, so you guys can always reach me there. If you guys have any questions, I always check that. Also, my email, I'm going to leave it at the bottom here. You guys can choose any form of contact, and I'm always willing to help, anybody, any students. And if you guys have any questions for like healthcare field related stuff, in school and applications, please let me know. I'm all ears. And then no, okay. Okay, do you guys have any other questions?
I think that's it for now. But
Okay.
I feel like I learned so much from you in just like 20 minutes, and if we had more time, I would have learned so much more as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I loved your presentation, and just kind of the way you explain stuff. I feel like very connected to you.
Oh,
I just want to go ahead and take a quick photo with you.
Okay. Of course.
Yeah, so
should I put more lighting, or is this okay?
I think that's fine, but if you'd like to put more lighting, that's fine too.
Okay, let me sorry. Okay, I think maybe that's okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I got the photo. So I just want to say thank you again for coming out and talking to us. We had so many great questions, and we will will surely reach you with more questions. So please, please,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, of course. And
yeah,
I'm so open to like, panels and speaking, and I'm very passionate about being in medicine and, just being in school. I actually really enjoy school um, because it's just been a really great experience, and we're constantly opening up our minds and learning so much within a small span of time. So props to you guys, everyone out there that's trying to pursue medicine, because it's honestly a great direction, a great field. I highly recommend it. I think it's fun, and I think school can be really fun if you have like the right study groups and you have the right mindset. So just hang in there, everybody, and time will go by fast, and before you know it, you're gonna be where you were wishing you were so many years from now. So okay. So
yes,
you guys have my contact information. I'm always open to speaking more. So please reach out to me if you guys ever want to do anything like this again. I'm all ears.
yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of
I
course.
loved having you, and I guess all of our members also enjoyed you speaking today. Thank you so much.
Of course. You're welcome. Is okay. Is the presentation over for everyone, or is there more?
Um, I think it's over. I just wanted to go ahead and say we're gonna send out a feedback survey. Um, and if you haven't already joined our social media or Slack accounts, then we can share that with you.
Okay.
And I think that was it. Thank you so much
Okay.
for joining us and all of our members.